Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here for the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning video on Tuesday the 4th of June. And as the meteorological summer is now underway, not many of these words will inspire you with a great deal of joy. It's an unsettled story over the next week to 10 days. Low pressure, several different centres of low pressure are in charge, all a complicated mess across the British Isles. There will be some heavy rain at times. There's the risk of some gales coming in around one of those lows into the start of the weekend, and the outlook is looking rather mixed and still on the cool side. It's really a frustrating time for forecasting because these situations of small-scale lows that pivot up from the south really are difficult to forecast, both for the human interpreting the chart and the computer models trying to work all the numerics as well. Let's have a look at the charts and treat very carefully. It's almost we can't do much more than just a broad brush statement for more than a day or so ahead. Here's Wednesday. Low pressure then, which has drifted northwards through Tuesday, is parked over Scotland and a front will be slow moving. Generally it's rain that will be around much of the day, could be set in for a few hours. There'll be a few heavy showery bursts as well. All in all, a rather poor day across the Highlands. We've got a brisk south-southwesterly breeze across England and Wales, which will produce one or two areas of showers, but something a bit brighter in this part of the world. By contrast, the wind is more from the northeast across the northern side of Scotland, and that could be quite brisk early in the day. And you wonder why we talk about low confidence in the forecast? Well, just look at a chart like this. It is absolutely hopeless in terms of trying to get the detail. This is just one computer model's interpretation, and there's a few different options around as well. We've got an area of low pressure that's moving up the North Sea. It looks most likely as though that will stay well out to sea, but there's a chance that the leading edge of that rain gets involved with the eastern and northeastern side of Scotland. If it does, there could be another spell of rain in this part of the world. Most likely is that it's just residual rain from previous days that leaves patchy light rain mostly, one or two heavier showers perhaps particularly into the afternoon across Scotland, but it could be a day where many places just escape in between weather systems. However, for England and Wales, with a trough in place here and some instability in the atmosphere, it's more likely there's some heavy showers and possible thunderstorms that pop up through the course of Thursday. Those will track northeastwards on that southwesterly breeze. Cast your eye towards the north of Spain and Portugal, right at the bottom of this map, and there's another developing low, and that is a complicated feature moving into Friday. And that's where we get to by the middle of the day on Friday. This low developing with a bit more strength maybe than some of the previous days, and that will be tracking its way gradually northwards. The remnants of all previous systems still not too far away. But across Scotland, again, we're just in between systems, and there's a chance that for Friday, most places could get away dry. One or two residual patches of rain, one or two showers just locally can't be ruled out, but not such a bad-looking day with the wind fairly light. A different story developing across England and Wales, though. With that low moving in, the winds will strengthen from the east or the southeast ahead of the low, and there's the risk of heavy rain marching in and spreading northwards. Now, with time into Friday evening and night, that heavy rain, torrential rain in places, could well sweep northwards into the borders and more widely into the Highlands. There's a slim chance that that may be a bit more out over the North Sea, but it looks likely that that system will track straight north across the country by Friday night. To leave us with that by the middle of Saturday. That low then parked back across the Highlands, and a belt of rain that's wrapped around it, areas of slow-moving showers in the middle of the low. Around the low you can see the isobars are tightly packed, and there's the risk of gales then across many hills. There could be a lull just locally in the centre of the low, as we said, but I think for many places I'd work on the idea of a windy day, possibly even gales for a time at least across the mountains. Sunshine and showers perhaps across England and Wales. Those will rattle through, maybe on the heavy and thundery side in places. And then look away toward the southwest again, and there's another feature in the trailing fronts that's developing once again, and that could complicate things further into Sunday. I don't think I'll try and go any further ahead with these charts, because by the time we get to this point, a lot of complexity already has developed. Just expect things to still be unsettled Sunday and the start of next week. A step back to look at the big picture just to finish off with, and this chart shows you the surface pressure as the white isobars. The colours represent temperatures at middle layers in the atmosphere, and that where we get the greens is cool temperatures and a trough essentially, which generates low pressure at the surface. We need to see a ridge develop to get better weather in, and it's not just there at the moment. I'll skip this on over a day at a time, and the trough stays in place for a day or so next week. The airflow is still essentially coming round of a cool direction, most likely from the northwest. with sunshine and showers, I think, at best in the forecast early next week. Now, this is moving on toward the middle of the week, and notice there's a ridge trying to build out west of us, and that's high pressure trying to come in. Still, a broad trough is shown across the western side of Europe as a whole, but just the subtle hints that that loses strength and higher pressure starts to get nearer to us as we go through the week next week. It's a tentative one because not all the computer models are picking up on exactly the same story, but it's just the suggestions of higher pressure building in as that week goes on. I think we have to be careful with it. We have to be cautious about being too optimistic too soon, but I think there's something of an improving change trying to develop through next week. If it gets going, of course, we could get warmer and drier conditions developing for a week or more if high pressure can build over the top of us, but let's just hold on for that thought for a moment. It could just be that the light at the end of the tunnel at the moment is a train coming in the other direction. We'll update you then on Friday with the latest thoughts for the full week ahead. Stay up to date every day on our website with all your local details for your next 3 days. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.